got to say, stylistically, what we've seen from Giants on Split versus what we're going to expect from Liquid, which is very slow, progressive. The front line is the entire team here for Liquid, and they're starting on attack. So there's a big possibility of this going wrong in the first half of their attack. If Fatinho and Ambi decide to get very aggressive, try and shut down any of these site hits here, Meadows actually going to feel the pressure initially. Decent paint shell. He's actually going to guard them a kill. Yampi will fall off the rip.
Couldn't quite control himself for a follow-up on that. Fatinho's still done a bit of damage, but Liquid overall has come out at least with the advantage here. A 3v2, a little damaged up, sure, but the Ambi-David P combo has been pretty deadly, but as is Scream's aim, of course, historically, this man will always be noted as a god, but Ambi looking like a non-believer.
Low HP players.
He's got every right to be doing this. And now Scream, you've got to be on today. Ambi respecting the aim, but still takes the fight and wins it. Ambi with a gorgeous clutch.
No.
The man is looking sharp today. And this is a player I wanted to highlight right now. I'd say on Bind, yeah, it was the Fatinho show, kind of a little bit of David P in there, Hoodie, Meadow Shaw. All of those players do really well. Ambi's fine, he fills the gap. But a map like this with him on Jet, I feel as you start to see so much difference in him.
This is the problem, right? Just coming back to that composition discussion, the best thing to play against this kind of death ball composition we see from Liquid here is double duelists. You want the sort of agents that can dip in. Yes, they find a fight, potentially, go 1-for-1, or I mean, in some scenarios, we've seen Fatinho and Ambi pop off to the point where you can expect 2 or 3 out of them in certain rounds, certain setups. So that's my biggest concern here. Is if Liquid want to play this slow, progressive game. Giants are equipped to absolutely shut this down, absolutely dismantle it, sorry.
Oh yeah, beyond belief. Now, and if you wanted to reset the mentality, losing a 1v3 kind of sucks. It's, we're talking about mental. And again, sucks to suck for Yampi there. It's just not much more to be done, is there? You're like, I'll just live in this corner of sadness.
I'm dead, guys. I'm dead.
Guys, there's a pain shell, guys. 2 left, Scream and Link. See if 5 alive. Ambi is trying to build up here. Link had the right read, but couldn't quite connect the shot. And Scream, done for. This is clean work, 5 alive.
Yeah, and it's little things like that, again, just no respect. They want to conclude the round, they want it done. There's none of this, yeah, there's 2 bottom mid guys just leaving, like, we've got map control, like, don't worry about it. Ambi straight through sewers. He's like, right, wrap it up, round 2's done, let's go. It's things like that. So often we talk about momentum and, having the wind in your sails and all those cliches, but this really epitomizes all of it. In terms of what we see from Giants on a round-by-round basis, I said it before, it's so good to watch, and it's so good to watch them build on this momentum.
Okay, this should be okay though for Liquid. The burst towards A, but 3 players waiting to greet them at the door, and David P's already connected towards Soulcast. Problems now starting to build as Fatinho can just back away, and look at the HP. They're chipped. Oh, David P's walking this. He's walking this. He's absolutely walking this. David P reads the timing so right, and he can kind of almost be expendable to an extent. He did just have the Spectre. They all do. If they do damage, if they make it unrecoverable, they can't bring these guns back with them. This is still good work. This is a bonus for Giants. And Liquid now just being melted as soon as they went to try and do something towards A. But the rest of the map is open, but it's a long rotation now.
I'd say the problem is they need to invest somebody to keep an eye on these weapons. Because the worst thing here, it's a 3v3, health advantage heavily in favor of Giants. If they upgrade to 2 rifles, even if they get the plant on B here, like the retake, you've got to say it stacks in Giants' favor. Which is why we're seeing Scream stay so late here over towards A main. Eventually now, we'll drift in towards sewers. But again, Giants can give up the plant. Like it doesn't matter. With this much of an advantage, and you got to argue as well. Utility-wise, what have we got left on the side of Liquid? We've still got flashes on Link. No paranoia left. We're going to get the second smoke back online. I think it actually just has come back online, but everything's still in place. Meadow's going to get this information nice and early on B side.
Yeah, should be about now. If that camera check in, there it was. Now knows what's up. So they can hit that rotation. They'll be playing for the post plant rather than denial of the spike plant itself. That's fine. Yeah, full information now garnered. And
spike planted.
Now let's have a look as to what we get. Post plants are all tucked on the site. There's no ground beyond that. Camera wasn't taken away. Did actually get the ping towards Link, but it's Vitinho to lean in through towards off the back of the rafters. Meadow sprays in. It's Vitinho to find Scream. Looks for Link. Notes him on the side. Vitinho's found him, and there it is. This is going to be such a problem for Link now. That pillar, maybe the death of me can't connect it, and Giants stomp through them. This is gutting stuff for Liquid. This was the buy round. This is the gun round. And it wasn't like it was, roll your mind back to what we had on Bind. They had, I think, either 2 or 3 rifles when they were on their bonus for Giants. When you lose those sort of things, I don't mind that so much, right? Like, that can happen. It still sucks. But they were against 5 Spectres.
Yeah. I mean, the problem being, if we see a similar timeline, like 6-0 was it on Bind, right? And then it went to... Was it 6-1 or 7-1? I can't even remember. Anyway, the half is effectively lost in the first 6 rounds. When you have that much of a deficit, the economy, like I said, they get reset at like round 7 or 8. It's so difficult to fight back in because you literally have to win the next 3 rounds. All 5 survive. You're keeping the weapons. No repurchase required. It's so difficult. It's going to be really tough if this happens again here on Split.
And this was something we noted with Ambi when we got to watch him before. His readjustments on this pillar, especially as an op player, is really nice. They're all lined up here. He can just pull the trigger. He actually decides to dip away from this. He didn't get noted. Now he's in trouble. Gonna get himself out of there, give up the site. That should be a spike plant, and Yampy is chasing. I feel like Yampy, when he's aggressive, he's kind of at his best. I love that unorthodox play he can bring out when it all looks right, but... Again, another retake going to be presented. Now, this is where it becomes a problem for Liquid, of course. Those weapons are a little lighter, and Link shows you what he can do. Good trade, though, for Hoodie, not letting it get too far. Ambi being very cautious with that op. Doesn't want to lose it here, to Yampy especially.
The Scream actually pops the ult here to maybe slow down this retake a little bit. Soulcast will trade out 1 kill, so brings it to a 3v3, but...
Last 2 on pillar.
Okay, the first tap's good for Scream. The second will evade him, but Cryptix responds now. Ambi last man with the operator. Difficult to get anything done there, and Liquid,
Beautiful.
They hold strong. That's a very, very important round. Again, it's the thrifty round, so it's one that potentially leans heavier in Liquid's favor in terms of the bigger picture, but...
They needed this, though. This is a huge round for them. This just kind of reinstills some of that confidence in what they're doing. And of course, look, this gun in Scream's hands always is going to kind of keep in the back of your mind going, you know what you can do with this thing. But again, Ambi at the end couldn't do too much, forced to fight with that op and loses it. So it's still game back on. Yampy's going to get the op for himself. Rifles galore for Liquid. And this is the window of a chance, maybe. They can build back in, but they've got to keep building. This can't be just, I guess, dribs and drabs. I want to see a confident Liquid. I want to see it all line up. Not easy. Liquid testing the waters towards middle. Soulcast with that wonderful task of creating a lovely ice sculpture in middle. Vitinho waiting tucked in on the other side. And you're going to have the complementary position from Hoodie as well towards Heaven if they do decide to go through, which they do not.
Interesting here, only round 5, but I gotta say, ultimate progress-wise, in terms of the playmakers, I'll say Liquid kind of have the edge on that. Seeker's online, one away from the Rolling Thunder as well. You get detected in mail here. You can see the pings coming out already. The Soulcast actually on the back of that. Seeker's invested.
Oh no, with all of that, he still got found by Vitinho, just bailing out his buddy, which is Hoodie, and he's actually made it out of there. I do not understand how he's gone away with it. That was Seekers, Flash, 2 players facing, but now it's going to be this B piece coming out. They still need to stick the landing here for Liquid. Hoodie's been able to kind of come back around, find a bit of room to play off the back of sight, and Meadow waiting to swing, doesn't need it. It's just Hoodie and Vitinho from Heaven being such a nuisance as Link tries to make the cross. Not going to happen, and Yampy was meant to be maybe backline, maybe seeing post plant, but now he's surrounded. He's got Ambi mid-air, still hits that, of course. But the round, regardless, goes to the Giants, and they recover that off that did get taken away from them, and it's now 4-1. Liquid just getting blended up between Vitinho and Hoodie, and again, I'm amazed that Soulcast didn't get that pick towards middle. He put everything into it.
Such a heavy investment, and I think I saw a fault line just catch Soulcast just a little ahead of time, which would have been lined up for him. I think Link would have been in garage or potentially down to Sushi, but that's really unfortunate. Again, such a massive investment on the back of, obviously, Vitinho getting suppressed. That information was garnered, and they decided to try and follow up on it. Here, 2 rifles, a couple of sheriffs for Liquid. All they can get done in this round here. Spread pretty thin initially.
Well, I would like to remind you as well, 2 of the, I think it was like 4 rounds they got on map 1 were on their kind of force buy / ecos. Ambi this time though, fine for the first, falls away, does not want to get traded in on, gonna fall himself right back towards kind of almost, gets frontside a pillar. Soulcast carefully peels away after showing presence, but David P is trying to again find that timing. Now he could get undone, yeah. Ooh, what?
Cover going out.
How did Jampy not win that? David P on the look back still catches him. And now that gives away the game, it's surely this B piece, and there it is, knife over the top. We'll identify Fitinio's position.
Like that.
Nice work, Zilv. And just a note, Zilv is the observer today. Shout out to him. And the cross is being watched. Hoodie gets away with it ahead of the flashes, ahead of everything. Just gets a clean shot towards Scream, and now they're tucked away with 2.
And yeah, the slow orb gonna come out as well. 20 seconds left. They have to recover this. The spike here. Soulcast will find Hoodie behind wood. Again, the paranoia goes through just to slow things down even further.
10 seconds left. 1 enemy remaining.
This one dwindling away. Meadow finds a headshot through the smoke, and Soulcast forced to hold on to this Phantom. And another round will go the way of Giants. Again, the problem with this composition, I feel like, you know, that kind of mid to late round swing goes so heavily in favor of Giants, because they can put either Fitinio or Ambi in one of those positions where ultimately, you know, if anybody does kind of hard swing or dry peek from Liquid, they can dip in and out. They can literally find that opening kill and potentially get away unscathed. Like the numbers game just leans in Giants' favor.
Yeah. And Liquid need to find an answer to this, and I'm pretty sure Sliggy's probably identified, you know, you don't want to get that tone of that last map coming through at this point. It's 5-1. They were able to convert on that. It was pretty much an eco. I mean, I think they had like a Guardian and maybe a Stinger or something small. They were able to get a lovely site plant towards A, able to exploit that, and maybe if you're Giants, you might read into that a little, going, well, worked for them before, would they dare go back to it? What's the adjustment? What's that next step? They've got to do something. Because right now, nothing's really working. As I said, I feel like trying to dismantle that Fitinio Hoodie hold towards Heaven has been brutal. That mid-presence hasn't really done much to force them out of it, unable to get the pick on them. You can see them trying it, but just haven't been able to get away with it. But the buy coming back in is going to be a little bit weird. Okay, well, Yampy's got a judge. I say weird. I never really worry too much if it's Yampy. Literally
Never write him
nerf
off.
the gun. Yeah.
Never write him off with any weapon, just in the weirdest of scenarios.
Yeah, I don't doubt it too much. Bit of adjustment though here. Vitinho's the one to hit the rotation through from Heaven this time. So this could maybe help them out, make that mid-piece actually work out finally. Soulcast showing a lot of presence here, not subtle in it.
It's these first kind of 10 to 15 seconds of the round that,
Yep.
again, I want to see Liquid really force the issue on. Because now, I mean, they slowly rotate back over. Ambi's got a perfect read on this. Look at this. With David P walking through A main, they can stack everybody. And it's so slow from Liquid that look at what they've now got to deal with. Yampy with the judge. Oh,
Now
my
this is
word.
nice. Oh my god, all three of them stacked there, fall away from the site, instantly kind of posture into a retake. They've gone, well, we don't need to fight this now. We've at least gotten one pick. Fitinio, careful now, careful. Could have been much worse, but actually it's Hoodie who caught off Link there, surprisingly, and now they hit the brakes for a second. The spike is still within the hands of Cryptix, looking for that pick towards Heaven, but now losing vision, losing sight, and David P makes his grand appearance. A scream, backside put down.
It's just...
Giants. The pacing is perfect, Hyper.
It is. It is. And the problem comes back. They're just... Liquid have no sustain. If they don't find that opening, if they find themselves on site without finding the necessary kills or the necessary control, as soon as the smokes drop, as soon as the flashes are invested, there's no sustain. There's nothing for them to hold on to this control. Even something simple, like, again, the difference of having a Sage here, having something to kind of slow down that 3 to 5 second trade-off of utility.
Yeah.
It's crazy the impact that this is having already.
That wall again. We saw this in, I think, the game against VGIA, just kind of working around it so perfectly. And showing that control. And at this point, we once again want to highlight, we do indeed have Zilv joining us as our wonderful observer. We love our observers here. Do a great job. And it is going to be a slower approach from Liquid, maybe just trying to get the feel of things, seeing if they can find any weakness, find a pressure point to work off. But David P's got himself adjusted, feeling happy enough up here. Smoke it out, might give him a little room to watch the cross. Actually, no. Thought he might dip it a little lower, but it is going to be all 4 players coming through this way. Wonder if Scream's going to check close or far. It looks like probably deeper than this, and that's a problem. David P has to respect this, but does buy time. Does manage to dip away during that lovely work of utility, but you could see the intention from Vitinho, but it's Scream perfectly positioned to punish. David P over by the pillar, and as Scream go working towards Heaven. Rifle now recovered, Ambi with a quick one towards Cryptix. It's down to 2, Scream and Link. And the spike in the hands of Scream can make a... well, caught in the web. Can't make it away quickly now, but the re-engage back towards A. They're going to send Link running. It's all just a sound fake. David P still maybe reading this, and he still wins the fight. That's GG.
No
That's a round done. David P still present. You can't get away from him.
You literally can't. No matter where you go on the map, David P will be in the weirdest lurk. The weirdest lurk ever. But he finds so much value. So much value in these positions. And again, you got to credit it. Just thinking back to that B side hold, right? Information comes early enough, and who is it that completely wraps through spawn? And is a person who's probably calling there. It's like, guys, do not peek. Do not peek. Like, don't even pressure the plant. It's fine. We've won the round. We've won the round solely off my position.
Quick piece from Liquid, it looks like. Ambi, this could be a time to strike. David P's got his back already, buying so much time, denying that initial play maybe they had wanted to make. Link had to slow down. David P still catching another glimpse, full information being garnered. And David P's pushing this. You don't expect it, but he's going to be there. He's 100% walking this. He did it before. He's done it again. David P getting away with murder at this point. Scream and Yampi are a mile away, still working their way around with the worst spawn in deathmatch, it looks like. I just don't know what they're going to do. They've lost all positioning. David P can sit here as that kind of early warning system. You know what, if David gets a fight, sure, he'll get Vitinho maybe swinging on it. They'll be just fine, and he's read it, he's seen it. David P's got it all. This is a shutdown. This is Giants striding through. These guys are on another level right now.
They are absolutely schooling Liquid. Like... This is crazy to watch, and again, you think back to what is the foundation of this composition, right? It's front line, it's stacking up, it's that death ball, and you're seeing Giants win out those fights that Liquid should almost thrive in, right? I mean, hey, little homework task: count how many flashes they have in this composition. How many times are we seeing them actually use them to find these opening duels, to find the first blood? Giants should not be winning these sorts of fights, especially in the first 15 to 20 seconds.
And I've got to say, normally Soulcast is bang on with this, and again, I think that's credit to what we're... Whoa, that time Yampi's okay. little squeaky bum time, but again, Soulcast is one of the better players at doing that sort of thing, you know, giving them those advantages. So if anything, it's Giants playing it so mercilessly, and again, this time is going to be everything. Oh, actually, I thought he might have lost out. No, he's fine. Apparently, David P is impervious to bullets or the enemy. He's going to buy the time on the retreat. Soulcast is desperate to chase this. He still loses out. David P is unrelenting in this, and it's down to last 2, Cryptix and Scream. And well, Meadow can wait, arms wide open. Yeah, the flash is there, turns it, but Scream was blind too. Jumps back in, but it's all wrapped up. David P is the immovable object, and they just can't get past him no matter what. This is double digits now, soon to be on the board.
Yeah, and it's becoming painful to watch, honestly. This is just... I mean, the little things like that, they're seeing Soulcast. Again, it's a desperation play, right? They're visibly rattled. I mean, David P, again, gets away with absolute murder, and they're so desperate to trade this.
Yeah.
There's pure desperation to get that trade. Ultimately, I mean, what's left in the tank? Like, what is left in terms of responses here?
Well, they've at least denied Ambi that initial pick. I want to see more utility. You have to tame Giants at the moment. Giants are running over you like they're the favorite team, like they won Iceland. They are so confident in what they're doing. Liquid are going to burst off the back of this, feeling as though maybe that's enough to give them the gateway in. Hoodie now has to respect that. He can't. He sticks around, sprays, can't get it. Scream does barrel forward. This is the first opportunity they've really had, and the first time they've maybe denied some of that push off the back. And there's still that player there. Ambi is still alive, barely able to see, barely able to do anything. Link's going to find him. Couldn't get away from it. The utility's too good, but apparently so's Meadow. Plays through from CT, catching off 2, surprisingly. Link and Scream going to lose out. Spike in the hands of Cryptix. It's still a 3v3. I thought that was going to be Liquids all day long.
And again, it gets to this point where David P will get caught. So this part of the round where ultimately Giants have this stall opportunity. Flash will give across the information. Cryptix gets the plant in. Fatinho tries to get ahead of the curve. Cryptix will stop that from happening. Meadow last man standing again. Maybe just look to punish the economy here. Again, when you've been reset this many times, the loss bonus is already stacked up. Doesn't find that one. Liquid, I gotta say, the first time we've really seen them embrace what I feel they should be doing, right? It's moving with intent. The utility's invested. And even there, I mean, Ambi creeps back through, finds a wallbang onto Soulcast. It's almost like, in that scenario, Giants almost still nearly get the first blood, which is just crazy to consider. The fault line comes through. Again, a couple of players stack up in towards Garage, and I think they're looking to kind of stack up behind execution. But finally, we see them move with intent, right? And actually utilize what's invested.
Yeah, good to see that early investment of utility paying off. Pushing back Ambi, pressuring him instantly, but David P wants an aggressive response at the very start. Showing a lot of deep presence towards that A side. May, if anything, spur on this mid piece coming out from Liquid trying to take that room. And Scream's going to get in towards ropes, and up above is David P. Now he knows there's a player down there. This time Scream's going to back away from this, but David P is going to fill that gap. Maybe Scream's thinking he won't repush that for another couple of seconds, maybe 5 more seconds until he worries, but he's clearing this. He can call this clear. He can set up Ambi to still keep his eyes on. Spots out 2 on the retreat. Did not get the connection he wanted. Now it's time to re-aggress. There could be some really good pieces coming out of this from Liquid. They still have a great deal of opportunity. Liquid taking down mid. And now we wait and see what this site hit finally looks like. 3 players tucked here, though, and you're not going to be able to see. Fatinho finally reveals himself. And look at this denial.
It's just crazy. Scream now, last man standing. Bladestorm got Ambi. Well, like dislocated his wrist with that one, but still manages to land the shot. And the problem being is round 12 there, and they get a little bit control. But the problem is they then have to explore all of these parts of the map that they haven't had access to. They haven't had kind of these bread and butter rounds, especially on the buy rounds, where they're able to go, do you know what, actually their default looks like this. David P is going to be tucked here. He's going to be playing like this, going to be playing off this flash, blah, blah, blah. Right there, round 12 is the first time that we've seen him go, actually, we've got space to challenge ropes. And what does David P do? Yeah, he doesn't find the connection coming back through, but he re-challenges. Because Liquid have no idea, once they scratch the surface, what's actually sat behind it from Giants.
And this was something we were kind of talking about, I guess, bigger picture coming into today is, well, how much do they know about Giants? How much have they played? How much have they seen them in official games? How much time has Sliggy had to potentially prepare these boys? How much is in, the strat book? We do have a walk mid. So Soulcast and Yampy are the ones going to kind of lead down. Scream's got their back too. Big information. This should let them know exactly where they are. Yampy's closing in. The beast in the depths. Just scurrying through the sewers. His timing is going to be everything here. Tries to get the timing just right.
Could be.
Now,
perfect.
Time to go. Link's found Ambi. Sees them all. Gets one. That's really good work. He doesn't need to overdo this. Soulcast is going to take his place. The flash comes in. It's great. Liquid with the perfect read here. Wait. Yeah. Spike rotation. And look at David P's position. David P, if he gets 2 here... Oh, he doesn't. That would have been, I would say, the gateway. If he was able to get 2, I would still see this being somewhat feasible. Think for Hoodie, kill for Yampy. No worries there. Lovely work.
Seriously.
That mid-walk worked.
Thank God. Again, with a scoreline like this, you look towards Liquid to be proactive, right? So starting as they mean to go on here with the pistol round, it's perfect. It's decisive. There's no hesitation there. 15, 20 seconds in. It's not like they sit and go, let's see if they push A, right?
Yep.
This is the perfect start. This is what you want to see if there's any possibility of Liquid building back into this.
Liquid have carved out the first foothold of a potential way back in. There's got to be meticulous, near on flawless, and the nade could do a little bit of chip damage. Yampi's going to catch one in the smoke. Ooh, couldn't be clean enough towards Ambi, so that's a gateway open towards heaven.
Blocking sight.
Smoke goes in, but the two players pushed in towards B main, which was noted by the Cypher. Meadow was somewhat aware, I think Fatinho was as well, so they should be somewhat knowledgeable of this. Cryptic's still going to catch one on the cross. That spike now left loose. Ambi still doing pretty well here. That's now a 1v2. Now the spike, luckily for Liquid, was left up at the top side of heaven. Scream, flipping back up. Ambi now knows maybe that avenue is shut. What does he do here? Dog comes in. Does spot him, and now actually connects towards him. This could be the push coming in. Actually, they take a second of hesitation, which opens up a chance, Ambi!
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, we're okay. It's 4 rounds. It's okay.
You want to build a comeback. We talk about those flawless rounds, right? We talk about keeping three alive, you know, minimizing the repurchase. Because again, there's no raise, there's no jet in this composition. There's none of those kind of freebies on those eco rounds. That's, I mean, probably why we're seeing Yampi on what you could say a buy round for Liquid on a judge.
Yampi buy. Ooh, Cryptics. Amazed you can be so mobile with balls that big, but look at what he's gone away with. At least one. Finding Fatinho, quick flash to follow. No one to push on that, however. Early info, sure, but at what cost? Is that worth it to you?
I mean, for me, you go 1 for 1. Giants take this in the mid to late round transition. Especially with it being Cryptics on that Cypher. Takes away a massive crutch in terms of the information they can garner passively based on his utility. Giants will actually now lean back towards mid. I mean, the other thing to consider as well now, Liquid at 4 and one of them doesn't have a rifle. So, in terms of ranged engagements, this could get tricky.
Good. But I believe in the Yampi supremacy. Oh, the timing, Yampi. Oh, here they come. They've got to know he's close by. They don't expect the judge, though.
30 seconds left.
Gonna get 2 for all of that work, and they're probably feeling a little frustrated with that, but that is the value of Yampi.
David P, though,
has
man.
again found the timing. This is terrifying to me. Link seems aware that someone could be here. There it is. Great shot from David P in the end. Took his time on that. The cross is being watched, though. Scream lets him get past. So Spike Plant can now come in, and David P has taken space. This guy is a monster. He's running them absolutely ragged. And Scream's now had to find his way back into a 1v2. Position noted. Finds David P. That's a big scalp to be claiming. Sees the brim of the hat.
Wait, he didn't?
Meadow.
He did.
Oh, now he did. Meadow might have just given him a window. No, huge work there. Good work from Meadow in the end, but I want to credit again to David P.
Dude.
He keeps finding this space, Hypok.
He keeps finding the space, and he's always good for at least one with it. That's the thing. You find the information, you find the opportunity to push onto a site like that, but right there, he finds the first and then finds the second in spawn. So it's not even like you find the kill, which is the big kind of swaying condition, right? That's the variable you look for in a round like that. But then to double down, it's on a platter after that for Giants. Honestly, you cannot give him enough credit. The last couple of weeks, David P has been absolutely crucial to Giants' success.
Hands down. Cannot disagree. The other players are great. They're all doing as they should, but I feel like he's finding that, I don't know, additional 20% somehow. You don't see many people able to find this room. And again, you might play your games, you might play your matchmaking, your bits and pieces, and, sit in ranked, and you're like, well, I've done this before, yeah, but you're not against people who are so well refined, so noticeable to how hyper aware they are of the timings and the possibilities. But once again, it looks like there has been space found here, but this is a bit of a shoddy buy from Liquid. It's not perfect. There is one rifle on Scream, so still a bit of leg to it. Deep wall goes in, Soulcast backside, has to find it, does great stuff from Soulcast, exactly what they needed. Yampy dives in on it, puts his body on the line, loses, but now Soulcast gets teed up, gets another, dips away into the smoke, he's doing everything he can. Soulcast just clawing onto this, but Hoodie still... No, Hoodie, no way do you do any more. There we go, recovery for Liquid, and again, tooth and nail stuff here.
Hanging by a thread is is the only appropriate summary here. Liquid will strike back. They're 5th on the round now and still 6 to make up on the back of, I gotta say, making a couple of unorthodox plays, right? Wanting to dance with Giants the way they like to play these rounds. Just trading blow for blow.
This goes here.
You know, Giants coming back in. See a little bit of reinvestment here as well, all things considered. Which potentially Liquid aren't anticipating, I'll be honest. You look at the economy here, you wouldn't expect what Giants are throwing into this.
Kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Yeah?
I mean, you're 11 to 5, you've got a little bit of wiggle room.
You can throw a
Why
couple
not
of
go
these
for it?
away.
Yeah,
If you
I
wanted
actually
to.
don't mind it. I mean, you look at it this way, Liquid have a lot more to lose, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, I'll let you have 1 or 2 of these. I don't love the force buy wars, obviously, but there is like a fine balance, right? And I think this is perfectly fine. Soulcast just showing off the guns. Having a little inspect. Looks like a play back towards the A site. Do have obviously Soulcast by pillar, and then Cryptics up towards heaven.
We'll wait on that second smoke though. I think that's why we're seeing this pause initially here, but actually
There we go.
could get ahead of it.
Turned the flash well enough, already some of them did. It's a 1-for-1 trade, make it a 2-for-1 trade. There it is, there's the site now open and ready for the taking. Guns galore as well. They get the upgrades they need. In a 4v3 post plant, but there's still stingers in this, still specters here. David P being one of the players and Meadow with the other, slightly weaker weapon. But again, all 3 players for Liquid right now in CT. This could be quite nasty, not quite a full TikTok wall, but close enough. And it looks like it's go time. Ambi waiting. And there's going to be a pixel out of place and it's going to be found. Yampy's going to punish Ambi this time. 3v2 players still advantageous towards the Giants. And it looked like Hoodie wanted to do it all, but now the postman's become a problem for Link, but he's been able to find David P. Meadows probably left scratching that, now looking quite bald head. He comes around just fine. The Stinger will actually be okay, at least with that low HP on Link. And that's 12 on the board for Giants. This is do or die time. We said, look, risk reward, right? The risk and reward for Giants in that round was perfectly manageable. That was a reasonable investment. I didn't mind that at all. I actually really liked that choice to be having there. Whereas Liquid now, look at what they're left with. They are in the absolute bin. They have now got match point against them. Not just map point, match point. And the buy's hot garbage.
Yeah, Yampy can't even afford a judge. Put it that way. That's
You know
how
it's
bad
bad.
it is. That's how bad it is.
Cover going out.
See here what the play is. Early fault line coming out. No follow-up. A sip typically a little deeper than we've seen them in previous rounds, so see what happens here. It's going to be a fast piece from Giants here, Lauren.
Fitini wanted to be the space taker and playmaker, but not going to get it this time. Yampy waiting very patiently here. How much does he see Ambi trying to keep himself safe? And the Giants do get dissuaded this time. They cannot make that same sight hit. And the 4 now have to wait patiently and respect this somewhat. Meadow feeling a little disrespectful, wants to try and make the play towards Yampy. Gets him no trade.
Not even a repeat. And Cryptic's only really got the Spectre, so he's playing
True, that's right.
passively off this.
But they've now brought it already back down to a 4v4.
Yeah, Giants happy to freeze. On the cooldown for at least one of those smokes to come back on the side of David Pete. They do have the res as well, so it looks like the intention is to potentially end up
30
on B.
seconds left.
Here.
See if they can get back to full strength. Paranoia building now for Liquid, but they are holding strong.
Yeah, committed to this. Cryptic still needs a fair bit of work off the back of it. Waiting to see who comes through first. It'll be David P on the crossing. He's actually found Cryptics. Good work from Scream. He needs another. Couldn't quite tame the recoil and hitting as Link gets just drive-by by
God.
Meadow. It's looking like this is over. Soulcast, your last man standing in a 1v3. Sheriff and a flash full on armor, but it's that first kill that might be the hardest. And yeah, Hoodie's already found, and they all peek together. Giants have done the unbelievable.